8:37 here on the show, and it's so great to be here. Just in the last half hour, we heard from Mayor Sandy Bowman about the population in the city increasing, more activity on the streets. What does that mean for the housing market? For a deeper look at it, we're joined by Melanie Galea. She's a real estate agent here in Fort McMurray and is with us now. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's so good to be here. What are you seeing overall in terms of the market right now in Fort Mac?
Things are better than they've been in a really long time here. And I think that there's a misconception that Fort McMurray, that the market is slow. It is not slow. It is actually very good. Right now, I checked the stats first thing this morning, and 20%, that means 1 in 5 homes have an offer on them right now. And our inventory, if we look at from 2024 to 25, it was down 32%, which is pretty good.
Meanwhile, you hear about how from boom times, how prices have come down significantly since. I was talking with a colleague of mine whose niece just got a place for $150,000. What sort of prices are people talking about here, and how have those changed?
Okay, so if they're getting a house that's not a house for $150,000.
Yeah, sure. But a place to live, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking prices, the height of the market, the price was $765,000. Right now, it's about $500 and change for a nice single family home. There's opportunities here. I paid a lot for my house and it's worth less. So here's the great thing for people that are buying right now. There's no better place in the country for price ratios than Fort McMurray. And I also think the interest rates are low. There's no more reasons for buyers not to buy right now, but they're still savvy. So what I see is that we're gonna come into a seller's market this year, but we're not gonna have the crazy seller's market like they have had in Calgary, and in the rest of the country. Buyers here most of them I'm gonna say are first-time home buyers, which means they're putting 5% down. They're going to have conditions on the offer. They're going to do home inspections. A smart buyer should do a home inspection, and they're going to wait for what they want. Yeah, go ahead.
If I was just taking a look at listings over the last couple of days, and places, some places moving fast, other places sitting around, 30, 40, 80, even a couple hundred days on the market.
Yeah.
What's selling and what isn't?
A house that's priced properly is selling. A house that has had work done is going to sell faster. What we're going to see is the days on market are going to come down, right? In order to have 30 days on market, it means something sold for 0 and something sold for 60, right? So you're going to see that dichotomy. But overall, from last year to this year, it was about in the 50s days on market, or 60s days on market. We're going to see that come down to 30. The good stuff is getting picked up in the first 2 weeks.
When you say, homeowners who bought a while ago have seen prices go down for them, like yourself, I'm sorry to hear. What happened there? Was it a lot of speculation at the time that was resulting in prices just soaring? Talk us through how things played out.
The first thing is, I would say 2014 was the height of the market. And I think the entire country went through, in 2011, we went through a recession. And at that point I was saying, Fort McMurray is recession resistant. 2014 hit and we had a company that was started doing fly in, fly out. And that's when I'm going to say the detriment happened to the Fort McMurray real estate market and Fort McMurray when that happened. And so what I do appreciate about Mayor Bowman is that he's been wanting to get rid of camps, and even the mayor before him wanted to do that. So where we are now is that... Meaning that people, if they live here or if they're working here, they have to live here, they have to have a home here, is what you're suggesting. We prefer that. Right. It's a great place to live. It is a great place to live. We have one of the biggest recreational facilities in the entire country. When we talk about what people want, it sounds as though new is very much in demand, but difficult to get right now. Why? It's minuscule. So there's a couple of reasons. 86% of the properties that were burnt during the fire, and there was over 2,500 structures that were burnt, 86% of those are rebuilt and done. The cost of rebuild, or building right now is so high that builders aren't building. So there's very minuscule new builds right now happening. Do people want it? Yeah, they do. And if so people are coming here, our population is increasing. They may need to readjust their expectations because there's very, very little new construction here right now. And that's why the average price isn't going up as well. There's very little new construction.
Mayor Bowman talked there about how the average income in this community is just much higher than we see in many other communities. How does that affect the kind of homes that people are looking for? Even like you say there that a lot of your clients are people who are looking for starter homes. Does a starter home look different in Fort Mac than it maybe does in other communities?
Yes. The easy answer is yes. Of course it does. And that's why I tell people, come here. This is the place, first off, this is the place where you get a fresh start. You're going to make more money, and there's more opportunities here in this community than there is in the entire country. You're going to get more bang for your buck. If you compared, what would you get for $500,000 in Vancouver? Even in Calgary, Toronto, forget it. Right? You're getting a postage stamp. You're getting a condo.
The thing, of course, I mean, you mentioned Calgary's market there. Calgary real estate market very much tied to the price of a barrel of oil. Even more so here. I mean, we're at what, hovering around the $50 a barrel mark right now. Like, how much does oil affect the market in Fort Mac?
I'm going to disagree with that statement.
Okay.
At this point in time, there is the largest amount of interprovincial migration into Calgary. That has nothing to do with oil. That has to do with prices. That has to do with a lot of different things. Maybe in the past it had to do with oil prices. It doesn't here now.
Same in Fort McMurray as well.
Yes.
And so, winter's often a bit of a slow zone for the market. How is this winter's market going?
It's very good. It's busy. It's very busy. And so it's going to be like it was. 2022 was a good year. And then the interest rate started to go up. And then that's when things, like we had the best year, April of 2022, that we had had since 2014. I'm anticipating that we're going to see the same thing this year because the interest rates are low. Buyers have no more reasons to buy or not to buy because the interest rates are low. They're not going lower, and hopefully they don't go up again. I think we're just going to see it stay even and balanced.
Well, it's been great to have you by for your perspectives. Melanie, thanks for doing this, hey?
Thanks so much for having me. And the one thing I want to say is, move to Fort McMurray. It's the place where your friends become your family.
You know what? Before we started the interview, you said, I got to get that line in somewhere. And I forgot to prompt you on that line. So yeah, thanks for squeezing it in.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's Melanie Galea, a real estate agent here in Fort McMurray. She's been selling since 2007 and works with Remax Connect.